Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the What's Your Opinions podcast. It's your two lonely brown boys here. It's Eli and Alex coming at you guys with a long awaited episode. It's been damn near almost 2 months since we had posted. I will say this though, guys. If you guys had caught those episodes, technically, the last episode was my fault. I'm sorry. I didn't mean for us to get suspended for a whole ass week. And then,
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
yeah, and then the whole like thumbnail of Osama got us packed too. So yeah, that's not really good.
We've just been pushing the limits lately.
To be honest, we really have. We really have. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the What's Your Opinions podcast. Hope you guys are having a fantastic week, month, whatever your cycle is. I hope you guys are doing it. I guess I don't know. Me and Alex haven't really recorded at all. Well, due to those episodes and then Alex being with his kid for like 2 weeks, but we already talked about that. We don't really need to talk about that again. And then me personally, I just really don't want to do it. I do have some motivation to actually start making a little bit more YouTube videos, but other than that, that's kind of what's going on with me. What's going on with you, Bucko, this last like week?
I don't really know. Like, honestly, I can't really remember.
Don't you think it's like one of those weeks where you're just like, it either flew by too fast or you were just on autopilot?
I mean, like, I went to a concert on Friday.
That was kind of cool though. The Red Power Ranger was kind of fun.
Yeah, Jesus was also there.
Oh yeah, you told me Jesus. I didn't get to see the videos of Jesus though.
I couldn't find him. He was in the VIP too.
Did you take a picture of Jesus though?
No, I should have though.
Damn.
No, but yeah, fucking Red Power Ranger just showed up out of nowhere.
Get his ass kicked at all or no?
No, he just started getting down, and people were just like losing their minds over because they're like, "What the fuck is that, a Power Ranger?" They even like one of like the bands was like performing, and fucking after in the middle of like in between songs, one of the fucking singers just like, "Is that a fucking Power Ranger out there?"
That's a reasonable like fucking audible.
That's a reasonable reaction. Just like you're just up there, you're just like, "Is that a fucking Power Ranger?"
Just fucking screaming to your heart's content. Like, yo, is that a? Sorry guys, I know we're at the show real quick, but is that a fucking Power Ranger in the middle? I didn't do shit this all week. I know like this week I think I already told
I mean,
you.
it's only Monday.
So
you really have.
like legitimately I only have 2 days of work this week and it's equivalent to 10 hours of work. That check is gonna look atrocious.
What did they do? Did they give you 5 and 5?
Yes. I close Saturday. I know no, sorry, I don't close Saturday because we get to watch the fight Saturday.
I was saying, you're not working. You're not working. It's gonna be an early start for Saturday also.
Yeah, no, is it like at 11?
1 p.m. Eastern. So I believe that's 10 for us.
For the main
because
card?
they're 3 hours. They're 3 hours ahead. It's 1 p.m. start Eastern time. So that's 10.
Main card, right?
No.
Or is that
I think
prelims?
so. I don't know.
I have to look that up. Jesus Christ, another early one.
Not as early.
Not as early. We watched UFC 290, 295, 294 this past weekend, and that was like 6 hours of pure greatness and bullshittery.
Yeah, I went to that concert, got home, got like 5.5 hours of sleep, got up, and was at your house to start watching fights.
Yeah. Got breakfast out of it though.
2 shits.
I said you got some breakfast out of it though.
That's true. My dad did not ask once where the fuck I was that whole entire time.
I mean, I don't know. Does he like usually ask you or no?
Well, normally I just kind of tell him, but just be like, "Hey, man, I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna be there." But like that morning, I just like kind of got up and left because I wasn't gonna text him at like 6.
Yeah.
But just like he just never once even like, and it wasn't until because I didn't go home until Sunday, and my dad's just like, "Oh, you staying at Age's house yesterday?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Okay." I'm like, what the fuck?
I think our
Because
dads.
not once did he even ask.
I think our dads are like super similar. I think when it comes to us dudes, it's just like when I was at Europad or whatever. Dad didn't know where the fuck I was all day. I think mom knew, but I think she forgot to tell dad. And then I think one of those nights I got really fucked up, and you got really fucked up. So like we both stayed in. You like, can I have the? Are you using It's always I don't understand. It's always an episode where it gets interrupted. Here you go, baby.
What is she grabbing?
My Xbox controller.
Oh.
Her and Miguel are gonna play like video games or whatever. But
Sorry, I was checking my fucking messages. I
no,
didn't realize that my fucking finger just blocks out the sun when I went it on
no.
that.
You're good. You're good. What's that? Yeah, like it was one of those nights where like I think it was a UFC card. No. It was like the week. It was the weekend you moved in.
Oh yeah, we
Oh,
got pretty fucked up that day.
we got
We moved,
because I
and
helped you
then we
all
just
week. I
started.
helped you
Cause,
all
'cause,
week.
yeah, because that night me and you started playing beer pong, and then we were fucking shotgunning beers.
Yeah, I didn't think I could shotgun 7 beers and still kind of function for a little bit, but we shotgun those beers pretty fast. That's what got me.
That's right, because then we started laying in bed and we started just fucking. We were laughing at nothing fucking hour.
Dude, I remember that night, like I got fucked up, but I remember that remember that night so specifically. Like we were like bumping like R. Kelly playing Uno.
We were. Oh, I remember we were laughing because I kept on doing the Scooby Doo laugh.
Oh yeah, and then like it got quiet, and then it was like, yeah, pretty much. It would be like that'd be like dead silent, then you would hear me that, and then just everyone just starts laughing hella hard. I do remember that though. What's it called? That was like the weekend, and that my dad was like, I called my dad. I'm like, hey, I'm not coming home tonight. He's like, where even are you? Oh, where I'm at Alex's. Okay, cool. See you tomorrow. Like I feel like our dads, like I think when it comes to girls, it's a lot different. But like when it comes to us dudes, it's like okay, as long as you're all right. Oh man,
This lemonade looks so weird.
it looks dirty.
It's sugar-free lemonade. Does that like make it look different or something?
I thought it would make it look. I thought it'd make it taste different. Sugar free? What kind? What brand?
Um,
Simply?
no.
Oh damn
What's
it!
the other lemonade brand? Fucking
I don't know.
Minute Maid. Minute Maid does
Oh,
lemonade too, I think.
Minute Maid does lemonade. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, we watched like from front to back the entirety of UFC 294. I really don't want to get way too much into it. I just kind of want to like shift through a little bit of the bullshit of it.
We could really just talk about the takeaway of the main three fights: the Walker, the
Yeah,
Hamzat, and the Islam.
I'm
And
down
it's
with that
funny.
one.
What's funny is I was actually talking to one of my coworkers about those three fights exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Just before I left work. So kind of good because those topics are actually just fresh in the mind now.
Uh,
I don't gotta like kind of sit and sift through my thoughts because I was just talking about this shit like an hour ago.
all right.
But again, we can just talk about the three main takeaways.
You could
Um,
you take it over. Take over. Like
yeah,
talk about it.
so Ankalaev and Johnny Walker, pretty high. I want to say pretty highly anticipated. I mean, it was just a good light heavyweight fight
Oh, it
that
was high
just
stakes
kind of had
also.
high stakes. Also, there was title implications in this fight, and the fight was just starting to get going. Like you could tell, you could tell they probably took like a minute to feel each other out, and then they were just getting ready to really fucking start.
Yeah, and what happened
Um,
and what people that don't know if they didn't watch the fight or whatever, it was a doctor stoppage due to a accidental knee while Johnny Walker was
so
down.
yeah, so yeah, so this is where I was talking about I was talking to my coworker about this again. I don't like when they say unintentional knees because how do you accidentally throw a knee?
I said an accidental knee. I don't say unintentional.
Well, unintentional, accidental, say same shit.
Same realm. Yeah, I'll give it. Okay.
So this guy so it has like how do you accidentally throw a knee? You meant to throw that knee. We saw how many grounded opponents get knees that night,
Yeah.
and you don't just have someone down in a clinch and accidentally fucking throw your knee up at their head.
I mean, sometimes it's just natural instincts because they're not really paying
It is.
attention.
It is. It's just natural instinct, but at the same time, it's like you knew what you control your weapons. Control
Yeah,
your weapons. You
I've
know the rules. They go over the rules with you guys before every single carb, every single fight. They go over it with you. Um, Me personally, I think it just should have straight up been a DQ loss for Ankalaev. You
yeah,
know,
yeah. I mean,
it's not like Walker was like not like it wasn't like there was any kind of confusion. Like the one that we saw earlier in the night where there was some weird confusion was like, oh god,
yeah,
because you remember because that
yeah,
guy was
yeah.
kind of squatted, so it's like
Yes, but it's full.
Walker was full on
His
knee down,
knee down, hands down. He only had to defend up.
everything.
And I do say this though. Um, I'm kind of weird because I look at that fight, right? I rewatched it. Well, I rewatched the little of what it is. I'm kind of weirded out that Piotr Jan didn't he get disqualified for a knee?
So yeah, so that's kind of what everyone's kind of going on, where it's like everyone wants to use that comparison. Was like, well, shit, if that was a no contest for an intentional knee, why did Aljo get the belt?
I'm kind of
And
thinking
what
that.
and what that comes down to, it's honestly it's at the ref's discretion at that point.
Meaning.
Me and the ref can kind of choose to either call it a no contest or fucking make it a DQ loss. It's like ref slash commission. They kind of get to make the call on that one. Um, so that's what I'm saying. I'm thinking it should just been a fucking DQ loss for Ankalaev. Really, nothing you could say about it. Was everyone wants to point the finger at the doctor, and at first glance, me and you were pointing finger at the doctor. We were kind of going,
Yeah. What the
"Fucking idiot
fuck?
doctor, idiot doctor." But then you start to hear the audio.
Yeah.
Asked, and what the responses were, where the doctor asked Walker, "Do you know where you are?" Walker responds,
The desert.
"In the desert." You're not wrong.
But
There's a lot of. I am sure the doctor was looking for him to say
Abu Dhabi.
Bobby. And then another red flag for me was we're 2 minutes into the first round, and he gets the knee to the head. Makes sense. You just took a fucking knee to the head. And
Cause
the first response to the doctor's question wasn't even answering the question. It was, "What round is it?"
that's another thing too.
That is right there where I was
But
like,
you look
"Oh,
at his
this
eyes
dude."
too. Like you look at his eyes too. He's gone. Like instincts, he's
Oh
up.
yeah,
I'm like, I
this
could.
dude, he's
He's not. He's
oh,
not
this dude's
there.
gone. So yeah, it gets waved off, and you already know for a fact that this is one where they're probably gonna run it back. Honestly, I could see them with as stacked as these last end of the year cards are. I can 100% see them either throwing them on the November or the fucking December card.
I think they'll do it December. I think if you, because
I can see December.
I can see December for the main fact that if you have that was a title eliminator match. Let's be honest.
It was. It was
If Johnny Walker won Uncle Live because he's number 3, I believe, Johnny gets the shot.
Walker. Yeah, Walker was 7, and then Uncle I was 2.
Oh, 2. I'm sorry. So I would say that's one of the best options for a title shot.
It was definitely going to be that because Jan just had that kind of title eliminator thing with Alex, and
Yeah.
um weird one too. It's like you could definitely go throw title shot at Ankalaev or Walker in that situation. We also got to remember we do have Jamal Hill kind of.
Looming.
No one really knows. He's looming. No one really knows where he is on his injury. He tore his Achilles.
He's not gonna come back till like next year.
Yeah, so probably next. I say end of first quarter, beginning of second quarter for their
I
year.
think
We'll probably see Jamal Hill.
I think he's coming summer.
Yeah, the only question is like, does Jamal come back to a straight title shot, or does he come back to a title eliminator?
I think respectfully, he only held the belt. He only beat to get the belt. He didn't.
Well, so did Yuri. Yuri's coming back straight to a title shot. Yuri didn't defend the belt either.
I mean,
Yuri.
but we
Yuri
look at.
won it by
I would
Yuri,
say this. Yuri had the better overall, had the more excite. People aren't gonna look at Yuri differently because he got the immediate title shot because of what that match he got to get to the title when he was fighting Glover. The fuck?
Well, Jamal Hill also. Here's the only here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There's
No,
similarity.
there's a bunch of fucking likes going on my screen. And I was like, what the fuck? Is that you? Oh, okay.
I'm on my phone.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, but let me finish my thought real quick before that shit fucking distracted me. I think the Glover to Sheriff fight, even though they both fought Glover, Yuri had like the more exciting one. And I feel like there's a lot more hype with Yuri than there is with Jamal. I did like, and don't get me wrong, Jamal's performance against Glover Teixeira was textbook. It was great. But I feel like one, it wasn't as exciting. And I'm not saying don't put him on the complete back burner. No, he deserves to get either a title shot either immediately or fight the number 2 or fight the loser of, Walker and Ankalaev or the loser of that. I think he deserves to get that title shot immediately, or if not, you get a title eliminator.
So I can see them going just straight title shot for him. There's similarities and differences between the way Yuri and Jamal won it. Yuri was losing that fight and won it in a Hail Mary choke in the 5th.
Mm-hmm.
Jamal never once second guessed that he was whooping Glover. We never once second guessed Jamal wasn't fight. We were 100% when that fight ended going, yeah,
Unanimous.
Yeah, we were convinced Jamal had won that fight. When it came to Glover and Yuri, even though now that we know that Yuri was losing, if that fight would have went all 5 rounds, that fight would have ended with a shit. This can go either way.
Yeah,
so that's where I
can see it. I can see it.
But then also it's like neither of the Yuri nor Jamal got to defend their belt.
No,
they both had to relinquish.
Due to injury.
Their own choices. They could have easily been like, "Hey, let's go to interim route," because that's what they originally wanted to do. But they were like, "No, we're not gonna be those guys who hold up the division with interim belt bullshit. We're just gonna relinquish because we know, like, hey, we put on good performances to get this belt.
You're gonna take care of me.
We're gonna get our immediate title shots when we come back."
Yeah, I mean, I do see that. I mean, with the Ankalaev, with like that situation, I'm just wondering. It's just weird because you pointed it out during that fight, like when it all ended. It's like, yo, this dude just has bad luck with title implication bouts.
He does. I mean, draw with Jan, which let the division just like, what the fuck?
For like a month.
Yeah, for a month. UFC was pretty clutch on being able to get that figured out pretty fucking fast.
Bro. I think didn't they think about it? Didn't they say it like immediately at the press conference? Like, oh yeah, it's gonna be Glover.
Yeah,
and
they're like, Dana, what do you do? He's like, you do Glover and Jamal in Brazil.
Yeah.
So so that fight, it is what it is. There's really nothing to say. They're gonna run it. I can see them 100% probably throwing it on December. As stacked as December already is, I can see them just throwing it on there just for the fact of like, hey, you got to get that one situated. You just do. On to the co-main. The most exciting fight.
No.
Fucking rooster.
I know. I hear
definitely
it.
Definitely not the most exciting. In a way, almost kind of think that's how that fight was gonna go in a weird way.
I don't know. I think, and I get it. He signed the dotted line. I think if that goes 5 rounds, I think after those the second and third round, I think there's an clear indication that Kamaru was taking that fight.
Yeah, go. Yeah, I mean, 100% agree. Go 4th or 5th round. Kamaru's coming out on top on that fight.
I think that I don't think there was there was a sense of urgency because obviously he had to change the gears up. He can't be on his.
There was in that third round. You saw Kamaru
piece him up.
Go like, all right, I got to put
because the
but
second
remember
round's
when
close.
you remember the comment I made right before they started fighting, or after the first round? I made the comment of Kamaru can't get in his head thinking he has 4 more rounds to play with.
Yep, I think, and I thought
Going into
exactly.
the
I
second,
looked at
I was
that.
already like, or him needs to realize we're already halfway through this fight.
I think that I think
You
the
can't just
second
drop a
round.
first round.
I think it goes either way in that bout. I do think Chimaev won convincingly, but I wouldn't be surprised if they would have had a draw. I think that second round.
It could have gone
I think
a lot
that's
of ways.
because what they scored it. I think what you showed me the first round was a 10-8, right?
All 3 judges across the board 10-8 for Chimaev, which
Of
he
course,
rode Kamaru's back, attempted submissions, just fucking
Kamara
hit him
probably threw
multiple
like what
times.
1 or 3 punches in that round. He had a
Yeah.
crazy round, and I think that second round. Really changed it because granted, if that second round, what's it called? Because people had it, both judges had it for either or, for Chimaev or him.
Yeah, that second round it was like
That's too
2
close.
judges had it. 2 judges had it Kamaru, 1 judge had Chimaev, but I could lean towards Usman on that second round just because not a lot happened in that second round.
And he's the only
And
one right
right
before
before
that
it
bell rang.
happened, the commentary team was like, whoever makes the more impactful moment in this round right now is going to probably take it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we see Kamaru come over with a big right hand, kind of. I don't want to say wobbled Chimaev, but you can
He
tell
stiffened
Chimaev
him
kind of
up.
went, "Oh shit!"
He stiff. He got
He
stiff.
kind of stiff. He stiffened up a bit,
Yeah.
and yeah. So I can see that second round going to Usman, and then that third round, yeah, you could tell even with the urgency, Chimaev was just being able to make it a dogfight back. Chimaev was just being able to hang in there, and like you said, when Chimaev was able to get to that ground in those last 2 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
when you said, "Okay, you know what, that seals it right there,"
Yeah.
they were just going tit for tat, and up until Chimaev got to they were just going, "Hey, you hit me, I hit you. You hit me, I hit you." And then
Mm-hmm.
Chimaev was like, "Fuck this shit," took him to the ground, and that kind of, in my mind, kind
I
of secured it there.
You know what it kind of reminds me of? It kind of reminds me of Tank and Pitbull to a degree. I feel like Kamaru didn't really do much to win. He kept it close. He kept it close, but at the same indication, there was no point in there's no thought in my mind that's like, yo, Kamaru definitely won this fight. As for a Pitbull, there's a lot of things you can't compare him with Pitbull, but like with Pitbull Cruz, Pitbull's hitting him with some big shots, but you're not really doing much after that. You're like literally letting Kamaru, like you're literally letting Tank, like not tee off, but just get points off of you with a broken hand. And it's been confirmed that like Chimaev may have a broken hand in that fight. That's why he didn't piece him up at all.
No, they already confirmed it. He didn't even do any post fight, nothing. He went straight from cage to hospital.
Oh, okay. I'm looking up I'm keep talking real quick. I'm looking up the Francis like fight card real quick.
Yeah, like they didn't really even he didn't really do anything. Again, I made this comment before how kind of weird this fight was, considering you had the number 4 and number 1 welterweights fighting at middleweight for a middleweight title shot.
Yeah.
And so, because if you look at the middleweight division, you can make a real argument for Duplessis.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
You can make the argument that he should just be the one because he did. It's not like he pulled out again in that Izzy fight. He pulled out, dude. It's not like it's not like he turned it down. He got injured.
Yeah.
He got injured. He couldn't make the date. UFC was scrambling. Izzy is the one who said, "Give me Sean Strickland." Sean Strickland's a savage. Goes, "Fuck it, I'll fight Izzy on let's say a month's notice."
Yeah.
And now we have Strickland as champ. And so you can make an argument that it should be Strickland Duplessis, since Duplessis was the original person that was supposed to be in that octagon that
Oh
night
yeah,
with Izzy.
100%.
So now you got Hamza, who beat Kamaru, the number 1 welterweight, and let's not take anything away from that. Usman's only losses
Leon.
are to Leon.
Mm-hmm.
And you really can't take that away from Leon. It's like, man, Leon beat Usman twice.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where for the longest time we're always saying, oh well, Chimaev hasn't fought anyone.
No, that I think that takes away the entire conversation of Chimaev hasn't fought anybody. Like Chimaev has fought the best welterweight, regardless of what you want to say about him, guys. Chimaev and with Gilbert Burns, he beat Gilbert Burns, the number 4 guy in the division.
Yeah, he beat Burns, and then this is my internet's all fucked up right now.
Mm.
Oh, there it is.
But he
Hold
beat
on,
Burns convincing.
I'm recording. No, someone AJ tried to call me and I ignored her.
Oh.
Um. So no, yeah. So he beat Kamara. Whether it was a now, do I think if it was a full camp Kamara, would things have gone a little differently? Yeah, but
Yeah.
he still beat Kamara.
Yeah, regardless.
Yeah, I think Kamaro's yeah okay. And I don't think Kamaro's past his prime. I don't think all this stuff when people say, "Oh, Kamaro's washed, Kamaro's past his prime." I don't think so. I think it's just one. It's he took a fight on 10 days notice.
I feel like that's the. I'm not gonna give that an excuse or whatnot. It's just like, yeah, it is a 10-day notice. It's not a what do you expect. It's, hey, he thought he had the best chance to beat Chimaev.
Yeah, hey, and you got
And it's
also
not
too.
like he came out of shape or
He's
anything. He was still
no,
in great looking shape. It's a difference with like Volkanovski. Volkanovski in the main event, which we'll talk about, like Volk didn't look physically like Volk. Like we've always seen him cut, lean. You kind of have like a little bit of like our kind of body stature, a little bit of a gut, but it's still solid. Like that. Like Kamaru was in shape. He looked ridiculous. So like this is a huge win for Chimaev. Granted, I wish this fight would have came at the welterweight so we can kind of see him get the belt at welterweight. But if it's him and if well, it's gonna be him and Sean Strickland.
yeah, it'll be him
That's
and Strickland.
I think that's a way more interesting matchup rather than him either fighting Leon or what's Kobe. I think he
Yeah,
beats either of them. I think he destroys Leon. With Kobe, I think he can. I think he submits Kobe. I think he flatlines Leon. But with Sean Strickland, it's like, all right, you're gonna go up against a dude that has a ridiculous defense rate. This guy that can piece you up. Let's put it this way, guys. Sean Strickland has not gotten his bag yet because he is a Brazilian jiu-jitsu. He does Brazilian jiu-jitsu. He's a black belt. He hasn't even done that yet. When's the last time we've seen him take someone to the ground or wherever? From what I've seen from Strickland, he's always on the stand-up. Well, what does Chimaev do against someone that hasn't even technically gotten their bag yet in a long time, you know?
yeah. So that fight, I think Chimaev has rounds in that fight. Good rounds to try and finish Sean. Because if there's one thing we've seen with Sean, is as the fight goes on, the better he gets.
His IQ
You're
is
not
like ridiculous.
you're not gonna make Sean tired. And the one thing we know is what Sean senses the slightest bit of weakness, slightest bit of like, oh shit, he's slowing down. Sean goes, okay, I'm gonna go from second straight to fifth, and I'm just gonna fucking melt you.
I feel like with Sean,
So
it's just
I
like
think,
it doesn't like we've said this before. Cannonier couldn't get him out. Cannonier is one of the strongest people in middleweight. So that just kind of puts the show how strong is Alex Pereira in that when he was in the division for that short time. I don't think Chimaev has the power to put him out like that. Like he's done with multiple people. I think he can submit Sean. I think he can do all that stuff. But when it comes to physically trying to go tit for tat, I don't think he does any of that. I think Sean would be that only guy where it's like, all right, cool. Like if I feel your punches and I know I'm not gonna be scared if I throw hands with you. Oh, I'm gonna put that tank, like you said, from second to like the fifth gear real fast.
yeah. And then another thing too, it's like the thing is like something that's still unanswered with this is like we don't know what Chimaev looks like against a like legit middleweight.
Oh yeah, 100%.
We don't know, and you know Strickland was a guy who used to fight at welterweight. They moved up to middleweight,
Mm-hmm.
so it's like it's gonna be a little because then it's gonna get even more interesting because like say Chimaev beats Strickland. How does he do with guys who are as big as Duplessis, as big as Vittori, as
Paula
big as
Costa.
Cannonier? Cost as if whoever because if Chimaev gets that, we'll never see Chimaev and Paulo Costa ever fight.
Why not?
I just honestly, dude, I personally think the UFC is kind of done with Costa.
I just think with Paula Costa, it's just like, and not just, I really don't give a shit about it anymore. Ever since like that whole like you coming 20 pounds overweight or whatever, that really doesn't matter anymore. I just felt like that left a bitter taste in the UFC, and they're trying to get him out as fast as possible. Let him finish out his
Well, then
contract.
also it was the whole Whitaker matchup where they literally announced it.
Yep.
Costa comes out and goes,
I don't want to fight.
"You're excited for? I'm not fighting that date."
Yeah.
And then just straight, and then that fight just got like just crumbled. And then next thing you know, oh, hey, you're gonna fight Vittori. Okay, cool. Shows up fight week and goes, yeah, I'm just letting you guys know I'm not making weight, nor am I even gonna really even attempt to try and make the weight. So if you guys want me to fight on Saturday, we're gonna have to do this at 205.
Yeah. And even then, Vittori took that match and
Yeah,
won
Vittori still fucking took it. Vittori's like, all right, cool.
and put on a
And
performance.
then and then he gets to the Luke Rockhold fight, which that wasn't necessarily a bad fight. I just don't think it was something that really that Luke Rockhold Costa fight was kind of just I didn't really take it seriously. I didn't think there was going to be anything real like beneficial for either guy in the end. Because obviously nothing beneficial came Costa's way for beating Luke Rockhold.
No, hold on. Let me just fix my
You
camera
would
real
have
quick.
thought maybe like, oh, winner of Costa Rockhold might get a title shot, considering at the time Costa was still in the top five. Rockhold was a former champ, coming
Mm-hmm.
back, fighting a guy in the top five. So you would have thought maybe, oh shit, there's gonna be some big title implications if
Yeah.
one of these guys win. Okay, cool, Costa won. Guess what? We didn't hear from Costa up until he was supposed to fight some random Russian dude who wasn't even ranked. Then that fell apart. Well, not really fell apart. The UFC was like, hey, never mind, Costa. Instead of fighting this Russian, you're gonna fight Chimaev. And and then it's just weird. Is Costa legitimately hurt right now? Yeah, I saw. We both saw that fucking hole in his goddamn elbow.
Yeah.
It's from an infection. His body rejected the surgery. Whatever surgery he had, his body rejected it, and that is the infection we're seeing in his elbow. It's a literal fucking like almost nickel, almost quarter sized hole
It's
on
like,
his fucking elbow.
let's put it in perspective, guys. It's like that size of a hole. This thing would.
Yeah. So is Costa legit? Was Costa legit unable to fight? Yes, he was legit unable to fight. But the point I'm trying to make is with the whole thing with UFC being done with Costa is how many times are they gonna play? Hey, dude, here's a fight. Okay, no, I'm not fighting.
I just feel
Well,
like it's like he's just being like a spoiled brat. Like if it's not a title shot, he just doesn't want to do it.
if it's not a title shot or if it's not someone that's gonna get him a title shot, he's not gonna want to. Which is probably honestly why he even probably took this Chimaev fight for
I
the
mean,
fact of
it
Dana
was gonna go
saying winner was
regardless.
going to get a title shot.
But at the same time, it's just like one, you go to this BS. Like if you're able to get back to these guys' good graces, you would think like, yo, maybe let me go to like a fight or two. It's like you said, Robert Whitaker. Robert Whitaker is always going to be a top three. You don't think after winning, if you would have won against Robert Whitaker, which you had a legit chance of doing, you don't think you would have got a title shot at that time?
He 100% would have,
I just
and
think
that's
he's
the
just being a
thing,
huge baby
and
about
that's
it.
kind of what Whitaker kind of became. Sadly, was literally that kind of gatekeeper to the belt, which it was like,
Yeah.
which it was like, hey, if you can beat Whitaker, then you're the guy. You're that next guy, and that's exactly what they did to Duplessis.
Oh yeah.
Duplessis, and so Duplessis he beat Whitaker, and if you look at in terms of like resume to a title shot, you know, we always want to say I do still I give Islam his credit now. I can openly admit I'll be the first one to say I didn't give him his credit at first. I never once said he was a bad fighter. I just never once thought he deserved to be in that top 5 or that title shot implication based on his resume.
You've
And you can say the same thing about Chimaev. You know, if you compare last 5 to last 5 with Chimaev and Duplessis, Duplessis has the way harder
oh,
last
hun-
5.
you look at the ladder to get to the window to the title. Duplessis wipes out Islam and Chimaev's records.
Duplessis' last 5, if I can get him right off the top of my head, Whitaker, Darren Till, no,
Yep.
Whitaker,
Hold on. I'll look it up
Brunson.
right now.
It's Whitaker, Brunson, Darren Till, Brad Tavares, and one other person who wasn't necessarily like in the top 15, but definitely was kind of one of those gatekeeper-ish type of guys.
So let's look at his last wins. Robert Whitaker, Derek Brunson, Darren Till. I really don't like Derek Brunson, but okay. Brad Tavares, Trevin Giles, and then Marcus Perez.
Trevin Giles. So again, that Trevin Giles was that kind of like, okay, let's see if he's ready for the top 15 kind of
Yeah.
guy. And then got in there and he did work.
Oh, 100%. I feel like, Chimaev, don't get me wrong, like he's outstriked his opponents, he's done all that stuff, but at the same time, it's just like, you really didn't deserve any type of shot in the top 5. And I get it. You went toe to toe with Gilbert Burns, but
Gilbert Burns almost had you.
Gilbert Burns had you on your ass. Gilbert Burns pieced you up. Gilbert Burns put you down. Like, he's done everything. And so it's like, all right, man, he can bang with them, but like, is he getting pushed too quick? Like, who would have thought, like, let's just say he fights at welterweight against Kamaru in a 5-round fight. I'm thinking Kamaru takes it. We saw what was happening even with that broken hand. If he wasn't throwing
and again, it's one of those kind of what if things.
Of course, 100%.
I kind of watched Usman's kind of little interview with Megan O'Leary after the fight, and you can just kind of tell, Usman just kind of felt a little, not just like literally, but mentally defeated.
Yeah.
He really kind of talked about, he went all these years on top, the guy on the rise, the guy with the belt, and then in a blink of an eye, he's lost 3 in a row.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like after.
And I'm not going to say this is a fall from grace. It's not like Kamaru's losing to top 15, top 25 guys.
No.
He's losing to cream of the crop guys.
It's kind of like Robert Whitaker.
Well, who knows? We'll see. Because if Whitaker loses his next fight, then we can kind of have the discussion of like, God damn it, Whitaker, please don't turn into, because the last thing you want to see is
don't turn into Tony Ferguson.
Yeah, that's the last thing you want. And but I think Kamaru, I think what he needs to do, almost in part, like we'll get into with the main event for Kamaru.
Oh, shit.
I gotta
for Kamaru. Wait, hold on. I gotta take this call real quick. You want to record later?
He's gonna be home, and I'm gonna be making dinner.
We'll continue this another day then.
All right, we'll just say this right out then.
All right. Guys, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I will talk to you guys later. Peace.